right, let's get right into it. Today, we're not just looking at a rocket or a mission plan. No, this is about the human story, the emotional story of our return to the moon, a journey that has been, believe it or not, more than 50 years in the making. Just let that sink in for a second. For over half a century, the path to the moon, it just went cold. I mean, think about it. An entire generation, maybe two, has lived their whole lives looking up at a moon that we've only visited with robots and memories. The sky just stayed silent. Well, some silences are just meant to be broken. And that long, long quiet, it is about to end. And trust me, it's going to end with a roar that will echo through history. To really get what a huge deal Artemis II is, we first have to appreciate the sheer weight of that silence. 50+ years. It's so much more than just a number. It's a gap in our collective story. It feels like a promise that was kind of left unfulfilled, doesn't it? And that's the stage where this whole new act is about to begin. But look, this story isn't just about breaking the silence of space. It's about the human heartbeat inside the incredible machine that's about to do the breaking.
Because inside that Orion capsule, you're going to have 4 incredible people: Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency. And this is huge. It's the first time a woman and a person of color will travel beyond low Earth orbit. Now, they're not landing, not this time. This mission is a crucial flyby, a test flight to make sure all the hardware works. But they are carrying so much more than themselves. They're carrying the dreams of all of us.
And so their story and our story is about to begin. We're going to shift gears here from all that quiet, careful preparation to the absolute, controlled chaos of the launch. This is the moment everything changes. And here we go. It begins. All those years of work, all the planning, all the hopes, it all comes down to these final seconds. You can just feel it, can't you? The entire world is holding its breath. Down in mission control, everyone is just laser-focused, locked into their screens. And up in that capsule, the crew can literally feel the energy of the rocket underneath them. It's like this giant beast just waiting to wake up. The final checks are done. That countdown, it's like a heartbeat now. Every single tick of that clock, it's heavy. It's carrying the weight of 50 years of silence, the weight of a planet's expectation, all of it just squeezing into this one single moment. Ignition. It's not just a sound. It's a feeling, a physical force that rips through the air. A torrent of fire and power, pushing against the planet, just screaming that the silence is over. It's this overwhelming, beautiful violence that tells the world humanity is on the move again. And as that rocket climbs, your whole perspective just shifts. You're not leaving the ground anymore. The ground is leaving you. Our whole world, with all its noise, all its complexity, it just starts to shrink into the darkness. At first, it's a gradual climb, a real fight against gravity. But then, you break through. You cross that line, and you're free. And suddenly, the entire planet, your whole universe, is just this perfect, beautiful blue marble hanging outside your window. Okay, so after all that fire, all that unbelievable power, comes the exact opposite, a complete shift into something else entirely. The engines cut out, and after the most intense noise imaginable, there's just nothing. A perfect, total silence. And I mean, that's just physics, right? Sound needs something to travel through. And out in the vacuum of space, there is nothing. So all that fury from the launch, it's just gone, replaced by a stillness that is both peaceful and absolutely immense. The crew is now floating in the very same silence that has dominated the path to the moon for over 50 years. But here's the thing, this time it's different. This silence isn't empty. It's filled with human presence, with purpose, and with the promise of everything that's coming next. So that's the real question this mission leaves us with, isn't it? We've broken the silence of our absence. Now that we're returning, what new discoveries will we make? What new voices will be inspired? And what new stories will we tell when we listen to the great stillness of space once again? You know, some journeys aren't really measured in miles. They're measured in how far your perspective travels. And we're about to explore one of those journeys, a story that kicks off with just one single decisive action and ends with a completely new way of seeing, well, everything.
It all begins right here. Just imagine it. Out there in the total quiet of space, a single command is given. A short, controlled burst of energy. That's it. Just one. And with that one little push, a whole new trajectory is set. But it's not just the spacecraft that's on a new course. It's the people inside. This is the point of no return, in more ways than you can imagine.
See, this isn't just about getting away from Earth's gravity. I mean, sure, technically it's called the translunar injection burn, and yeah, it commits the ship to its destination. But it's really about launching into a new state of being. The journey outward becomes a journey inward, and it all starts with this one powerful push into the great unknown.
Okay, so now comes the middle part, the long quiet. For about 3 days, they just coast through this immense darkness, totally suspended between where they came from and where they're going. It's a real test of patience, a time for thinking.
Inside that little capsule, it's like the laws of gravity have just been forgotten. Everyone is weightless, just drifting. It's a physical feeling that totally mirrors a mental one, this sense of being untethered from everything you've ever known.
And yet life goes on, right? These totally mundane human routines just keep happening. And it's these simple little things that actually ground them, that remind them of their humanity in what has to be the most alien environment possible. So much of this journey is just this, waiting, drifting through time and space with nothing but the hum of the ship and that incredible starscape outside. The destination? It's still just an idea, a promise out there in the dark.
But this isn't just passive waiting. Oh no, they're like sentinels, observers. Their eyes are fixed on the void up ahead, constantly scanning the darkness, looking for that first sign that the wait is finally almost over.
Just think about it for a second. What do you think they're looking for out there in all that blackness? They're waiting for a tiny pinpoint of light to become something more, something real. And then, just like that, the wait's over. And this is the moment. This is the moment everything changes. It's the arrival, and it completely redefines the very idea of a destination. Suddenly, out of the darkness, it just resolves. The waiting is done. The abstract becomes concrete. And really, awe is the only thing you can possibly feel.
So this is the really crucial point. We've all looked up and seen the moon, right? It's that distant, flat-looking disk of light in our sky. But to see it like this, as a massive, cratered, totally tangible sphere just hanging there in the void, that's a whole different reality. It's not an object anymore. It's a place.
And this perfectly sums up the purpose of their mission. They aren't there as conquerors. They are witnesses. Their job is simple and it's profound. Step 1, they don't land. Step 2, they circle. And step 3, they observe. Their only job is to just see it, to absorb this silent world from a distance.
But you know, as incredible as seeing the moon up close is, it's not the ultimate revelation, not even close. The most transformative moment of all doesn't come from looking forward at their destination. It comes from turning around and looking back.
From their vantage point, they can see it all. Not just a country or a continent, but the entire planet. Every single person they've ever known, every conflict, every joy, all of human history. It's all right there on that single fragile blue marble, just suspended in the blackness.
You know, there's actually a name for this feeling, this profound shift in your thinking. It's called the overview effect. It's described as this sudden, overwhelming understanding of the unity of all life on Earth and the unbelievable fragility of our home. All the borders just disappear, and what's left is this powerful sense of a shared destiny.
So after an experience like that, you'd think the journey's over, but it's not. In fact, what comes next might just be the most difficult part of the entire mission, coming back. And isn't that a strange paradox? After traveling hundreds of thousands of miles, after witnessing the birth of a whole new perspective, the final challenge is to somehow fit back into the very world you just saw in its entirety? And that's really the question that sticks with you, isn't it?
Once you've seen the world as a single, interconnected whole, how do you go back to living in just one tiny piece of it? How do you carry that perspective with you forever? All right, so today we're diving into something really fascinating. It's a document called The Lunar Return, and at first glance, it reads like a script for some epic space movie, but it was written for a very, very different kind of director. Let's get into it. The error turns into fire. I mean, what a line, right? It's so powerful, you immediately picture this intense, high-stakes moment. You can almost feel the heat just from those 5 words. It sounds like it's pulled straight from a Hollywood blockbuster, but it's not. And here's the twist. That line isn't meant for an actor to say or a human director to interpret. It's a command, written specifically for an artificial intelligence. And this little detail, well, it opens up a huge window into the future of storytelling. So what are we actually looking at here? This document, this script, it's basically a brand new type of creative writing. It's a story designed not for people, but for our new AI creative partners. It's called an AI prompt script. And the best way to think about it is as a hybrid. On one side, you have the poetic narrative language that gives the story its soul. But on the other, you've got these technical, almost code-like commands that tell an AI video generator exactly what to create, shot by shot. And this is where you can really see the difference. On the left, you've got your standard screenplay format. It describes the scene for a human film crew. But look at the AI script on the right. It splits everything in two. You have the poetic narration for the audience to hear, and then you have this super detailed visual prompt for the AI to execute. It's like a whole new language for filmmaking. And listen, this isn't just some abstract idea. The script itself calls out the specific tools it was built for. We're talking Sora, Pika, Runway, Leonardo. These are some of the heavy hitters in AI video right now. So this thing is designed to be used today. Okay, so how do these prompts actually work? How do you use them to build a scene and make an audience feel something? Let's circle back to that fiery reentry scene we started with and really break it down. Here is that 2-part system in action. The narration is short, it's poetic, it tells us what to feel. The visual prompt then tells the AI what to show. It gets specific about the flames, the plasma, the shaking camera. It's literally an instruction to create the feeling of intense, visceral danger. The 2 parts just work together perfectly. But this script is way more than just a collection of cool-looking scenes, because when you start stringing all these prompts together, a very classic, very human story starts to unfold. You can see it right here. A whole narrative arc laid out in 4 steps. It kicks off with that insane climax of reentry. Then it dives into the suspense of the communications blackout. From there, you get the huge relief of the splashdown. And it all wraps up with this powerful, reflective final message about what the journey really meant. And that's really the key takeaway here. This very technical-looking document is actually engineered to create a deeply emotional and familiar story. It's a classic tale of trial and triumph, of going through fire and remembering who you are. It's just using a completely new set of tools to tell that ancient story. Now, this is where the script goes from interesting to, well, frankly, a little weird. Because hidden inside every single one of these technical prompts is a description of a very specific and very unusual character. This is the central mystery of the whole document. In every scene, without fail, the prompt tells the AI to generate the exact same character. So the big question is, who or what is this figure supposed to be? Let's just look at these descriptors. Some of them make sense, right? NASA style. Okay, we're in a space movie. But then you get humble and kind face, short, dark beard, and here's the real head-scratcher, simple robe and sandals. This is not your typical astronaut. The prompt even specifies a warm and compassionate expression. And this isn't just a one-time thing. This exact description is essentially copied and pasted into every single prompt in the entire script. During the chaotic re-entry, the tense blackout, the final triumphant splashdown, the AI is always being told to render this same gentle, robed figure. So what in the world does this mean? Is it an artistic choice, trying to blend the technological with the spiritual? Maybe it's a symbol of humanity's better nature guiding our biggest achievements. Or is it something else entirely, like a ghost in the machine, a strange signature left by the author? We can only guess. But in the end, what this script really shows us is a sneak peek into the future of how we create things.
It's a true partnership where a human provides the poetic vision, the emotion, even these weird, mysterious details, and the AI provides the instant, powerful visual interpretation. And it leaves us with this one last, pretty wild question to think about. By embedding these strange, poetic, and deeply human ideas into the instructions that build our new visual worlds, are we doing more than just making movies? Are we maybe teaching our AIs to dream of new and totally unexpected kinds of heroes?
Please subscribe to discover unsolved mysteries of all time. Include a mix of ancient mysteries, famous disappearances, unexplained phenomena, and historical enigmas from around the world. Thanks.